Okay, so without further ado, tonight's training is not, it is a training, but this business, you really realize how well you're doing when you start to make progress. And so many people join because they just want to make a bit of extra money. But then when they actually get exposed to what this business has to offer, they'd start deciding to do more, commit a little bit more, put more hours in, be more enthusiastic, attend more trainings, and you start to make progress. But the way in which we measure that progress is by introducing what we call the competency levels. And these levels, as you get ticked off, help you realize actually how far you are moving down the track towards earning £1,000 a month, to becoming successful, whatever you see successful as, how you start to see yourself as a leader in the business. So what I want to talk about tonight really is just competency level 1. And every single one of you on this webinar quite easily could have already started making progress into competency level 1. Where do you find it? Where do you find out what's involved? Well, you just go onto the resource site, okay, which is www.the10steps.info. Go onto the resource site, click on the 10 step success system, and right at the top of the list is the workbooks and PDF. Click on there and you'll get the PDF with the workbook, and step 2 is personal development, and the very first competency level in step 2 is listed, and I'm going to go through that with you now. So the whole purpose is to take you from where you are today to where you want to be. If you've already qualified at competency level 1, if you're on here tonight thinking, well, I've already done that, well, stop thinking about what you've achieved and start thinking about now how you can help the people in your team achieve that level 2. Okay, not level 2, but at level as well. Okay, so that's what we're looking at, is how we can help other people achieve. So I'm just going to share the screen with you. So you should be able to see there now level 1. So what does level 1 involve? What's it describe? What's it all about? Well, the reason I've chosen that picture for a start is it's all about creating yourself. It's all about changing the way you think, the actions you take, the results you get. Debbie was a perfect example of that, because until she went along to the showcase, she thought this was another one of those things that she got involved in, okay, that just wasn't going to work out again. It was a mistake. It was something she shouldn't have done. But by going to the showcase and seeing how successful loads of other people are and listening to their stories, she started to realize that actually I'm thinking about this all wrong. So she's changed the way she thought, which started to change the way she acted, which not only changed the way she acted, but also changed the results that she produced. Hence going 10%, 13%, and sponsoring 3 people all into the business in the last 4 weeks. Has the business changed in any way? No, absolutely not. Has the catalogue or Facebook changed in any way? Absolutely not. The only thing that had actually changed was the way that Debbie thought. Okay, so if you want to change your results in this business in any way, maybe you need to start by changing the way you think. So what level 1 does is helps you start on that journey of change. So the first thing that we're looking at is step 1 out of the 10-step system, and step 1 is not only an introduction to the system, but it's an understanding of the power of the system, why the system is there, how it helps you move forward from where you are to where you want to be. You see, without a system, you're like a ship with no rudder, and you'll just meander. Debbie said it's taken 44 years to get into the mess that she's in, or whatever she wants to call the situation. But she has done that blindly, without knowledge, without awareness, just drifting along like a ship with no rudder. And after 44 years of drifting, that's where she's ended up. However, now she can change that because she's now aware of her situation. She now has a system that she can apply that will change that far quicker. So she's now added a rudder to her ship. Step 2 is personal development. What is personal development? Well, wherever you are today, You've got to this position through your thoughts, your actions, your words, your deeds. So when you look at your outside world, if you look at the house you live in, the car you drive, your bank balance, anything like that, believe it or not, guys, you have created it. Regardless of circumstance or situation, the choices you've made, the things you've done, has created that situation. And the hardest thing for most people to actually do is to take it on the chin, accept responsibility, and you say, you know what, this is all my fault. So when you take that responsibility, it actually gives you the power to be able to do something about it. When you take that responsibility, it actually gives you the power to be able to do something about it. You see, when you blame other people, what you're actually doing is handing the power over to them. You're saying, it's not my fault, they did this to me. It's not my fault, they did that to me. It's not my fault, they shouldn't have lent me the money in the first place. But by saying it's not my fault, you're saying I'm weak, I'm helpless, there's nothing I can do about it, and you give all the power to the other people. So personal development helps you to reclaim that power and do something about your situation. Step 3 is goal setting and planning. Once you've started to develop yourself, once you understand the system, it's then where do you want that system to take you? What is it that you're looking for? What do you want? And what do you want to get out of the business? Because unless you know where you're actually heading, how would you ever know when you've actually got there? And just like driving a car, if you were setting off from where you live and you needed to drive 100 miles away, I was going to say from where you are now to London. Well, some of you may live in London, so that's no good. But if you were getting in a car and you wanted to drive 100 miles away and you've never been to that destination before, the chances are you would either look at a map, or you'd look at your sat nav, or you'd look at something and have some kind of plan of how you were going to get there. Well, when you're setting a goal to achieve something you've never achieved before, how are you going to get there? You need some kind of plan. And what we do is we help you develop and create that plan to get there. Step 4 is then lead generation and knowing your numbers. So competence level 1 covers the first 4 steps of the 10-step system, and it introduces you so that you're getting competent at these steps so that you can make progress. So if we just take a look at the actual full breakdown of competence level 1, the first thing that we recommend is read the core books 1 to 3. Okay, the first book being Go Pro, the second book being Beach Money, and the third book being the actual workbook on the resource site. Debbie is doing so well because you've just heard her say she has listened to, so it's also available on CD, Go Pro over and over and over again. She now understands the business she's involved in, the industry she's in, and where it can take her and how to do it. Go Pro is a fantastic book for helping you understand what you've got your hands on. Beach Money is also another fantastic book by a guy called Jordan Adler that explains that sometimes it's just a matter of being persistent, following your dreams and never giving up, because the right vehicle could come along and more than likely this is it. Okay, and the workbook goes through the entire 10 steps, explaining each step and its importance and why you need to learn all 10 and not just pick the ones that you enjoy doing. Okay, Debbie has just done a 1K testimonial on a webinar, so she can be ticked off for that. She's attended 2 workshops. She's already going to the Yorkshire meeting. She's been a regular attender there now, and she can tick off that. She's booked a company conference. You just heard her say that she'd been to a showcase. So Debbie's fairly moving along this competency level 1. Written down goals. Did you just hear Debbie say what she intends to do? This is going to be her primary income. She's going to achieve Gold Distributor by the 2nd of June. Okay, those are goals, those are directions, those are things that she wants and she knows when she's going to achieve it by. So again, we can tick that off. Whether Debbie's actually written down a plan and sent it to her upline or a successful sponsor, so that's either Becky or Karen, who's going to be there to help her take responsibility for that plan and help her work that plan and make progress towards those goals. Okay. Um, then there's setting up a website and contact manager by joining the ad pool. Now, what's the ad pool? Well, if you want, you can buy leads from our advertising source, so we all chip together and pay for advertising, or you can generate them just off Facebook and websites if you want to. But we recommend you have a contact manager because that's where you're going to store all the data and you can send out email broadcasts from there. Again, if there's anything you don't understand on here tonight, speak to your sponsor and they'll explain it. The next thing that you need to do is to show that you're serious about building a business and moving the thing forwards. It's not just about reading the books and attending the trainings, but you've got to show that you're consistently generating inquiries. If you're not generating inquiries on a regular basis, you're not going to build a business. If you imagine having a bucket with holes in it, if you try and fill it with a thimble of water, you're not going to fill that bucket. The water's going to just run out of the holes. But if you fill that bucket with a hose pipe, it doesn't matter how many holes are in it. If you're filling it faster than what the water can run out, eventually it's going to flow over the top. So by producing 50 leads a week, that will produce enough water so that your bucket gets full. Okay? We also need to see that you're tracking and recording your numbers. Do you know how much you've done? Do you know if your business is moving forward? Did you do as much this week as last week, or did you do less? Again, tracking and recording your numbers is all part of step 4. Contacting your warm market. Pretty much everybody is doing that now. Most of you, if you've sent a message to your friends on Facebook, a proper message, and followed it up with the videos and a phone call and everything else, then that is contacting your warm list. Those are the people that you already know. By contacting your warm market, it's very likely you're quickly going to build a business. Becky spoke to Debbie because they knew each other through Slimming World. Debbie then spoke to one of her friends that she knew through Facebook. Karen knew Becky through Slimming World. So you see how this link of people that you know can lead to other people. You just never know who the superstar's going to be. And listening several times to videos, step 1 to 4 on the resource site. That's really, really important, guys, if you're looking at building a business. So what is this all about? Well, by doing all these things, it not only shows that you're making progress and developing within the business, but you'll start to qualify for the competence level 1, where you get a badge and a certificate and you get recognized for that. But when you're at meetings and other people see you wearing that badge, they know that you're moving the business forward, that you're doing the right things. And they will come to you asking questions, help, advice, support, particularly people who's only just joined the business. However, those of you as qualified at competence level 1, you'll be able to see the people wearing the badges for competence level 2. So you'll know that you can then talk to them. I'm not going to go into the competency levels 2 and 3 tonight. I just want to talk about competency level 1. All of you on here are perfectly capable of building a business and making a really good income of £1,000 a month. All of you. If you've already achieved the level 1, like I said, you want to be then helping those people who are just getting started. Get the sheet, print it off, and speak to your sponsor. Don't wait for your sponsor to come to you and say, by the way, you need to do this, this, and this. Print off the sheet, go to your sponsor and say, I think I've done this, I think I've done this, I think I've done this. Can we tick them off? Get your bronze exec or above to tick them off, okay, or a senior or above to tick them off to say, yes, you've done that, yes, you've done that. But if there's anything you haven't done, find out, what do I need to do? How can I get this? How do I start moving forward? And by step, not only will you start to learn how to build your business, but you'll also learn how to show other people how to build their business too. And that's where the serious money comes from. So well done, guys. Thanks for listening. Debbie, I'm sure you can tick nearly most of them off now, if not all of them. Karen hasn't filled me in on the details, but I'm sure very shortly we'll be recognising you for competence level 1, so well done. So that's it, guys. I just wanted to go through that. Okay. What's going on here? I hope you can see me again. And now I'll hand you back to Karen. And again, if you want to do the competency levels, speak to your sponsor, find out what you need to do. Do not wait for them to come and chase you. You go chase them. Now really is the time to step up. Thank you.